now exiting.
So, this, combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the stairs game and the puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game. There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
Okay. The Great and Lovely Descent. Ooh. I can tell that he's getting a lot better too. Like, he's starting to really get like these.
Let's talk about video game development for a second. Every video game runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do. So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development. To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source. Like all engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly. One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors.
Okay.
That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well.
Makes sense. I mean, naturally.
The tools available to the creator shape what kinds of creative work they're going to end up making. You might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games, to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
Yes, I see. Alright. Hopefully I don't fall. Ooh, cut that one close. Ooh, okay, so I walked in this wall. Jump to this one. Man, this goes on for a while. Jesus. Whew. I don't want to die in a walking simulator. That would be bad. It's a hell of a drop right there. And oh no! No, I'm gonna die! Oh, it just funnels you in. I mean, I meant to do that. Can I get in there? No? No, it doesn't look like it. Oh, that's probably the... I don't know. Wow. But he definitely has a lot of round stuff too. Do you hear that? It's like a... Wait, oh, it's an elevator. That's so cool.
This prison, funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go. If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that.
Thank you. I mean, I would have waited. You know, I walked up the stairs. I would have waited. I would have went and got some food. I would have sat here, and I probably would have swapped over to YouTube for a little bit, and then maybe came back over, see if I was still locked in, and then oh thanks. And
This
then
is
I
something
got
that
out.
he and I used to argue about a lot. You know, whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible? And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in and nothing else. Believe me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere. There wasn't.
See, this right here actually looks really pretty. Like, I haven't seen him do something like this yet.
It's the puzzle again. with the exact same solution as the last time.
You know, and I gotta give him props because I don't know how to make games, you know, but like...
There's still no clear indication of what makes this puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
But like, see, for me, I'm a musician, and so like seeing people do stuff, like it's just what inspires you. Sometimes it just doesn't have to have a meaning, or the meaning could just be so just personal that it doesn't need anyone to pretty much understand it, because it's not for them to understand. It's for the person creating it to get it out, to release it to everyone else. Like when I write music, I just write it based off of my feelings that I'm feeling, you know, or you know, there are a few times I'll write music based off of certain material. Like my sister's an animator, and you know, when she makes an animation, I write music for it. But for the most part, when I'm just writing music, it's just how I feel that day, you know? And I don't care what other people think about it. I don't write it for them, I write it for myself. And I think that's what he's doing here. He's creating these games that don't make any sense to us, but to him it might be like a whole thing that's going on with him. And you know, I really find that beautiful. You there?
Here, Coda begins using a kind of dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to respond.
Okay. So it says, you there? Did you come from up above? What was up there? Yes, there was a world stamped with whiteness. Yes, there's an enormous prison I spent hours in. Yes, there were these floating colored blocks. What about the prison? Because that was like the one thing that stood out the most to me, specifically if you had to sit there for an hour. So for a normal person playing through his game, they would have seen the prison the most, and that's the most memorable to them because they were in there for an hour. Nope. Yes, there was an enormous prison I spent hours in. That's the world above. You've been there? Oh no, they're taking it that way. Now this is important. Did you have to get through a puzzle with 2 doors and switches? Yes, I did. That was literally the last thing I did before coming here. No, I don't remember having to go through the puzzle. I prefer not to tell you after all. We just met. I'm not letting know. Oh, I hit 1, not 2. You don't. How did you get here? The puzzle is the only way. There are other ways in and out. I don't remember how I got here. Wait, yes, I did. Thank you. I did solve it. I am the champion to solve puzzle. I can go anywhere. I can go anywhere else I please. That's cool how they go from speaking to listening. I mean, you can't. You weren't on the other side at all. You have no idea what was on the other side. You cannot help us escape this prison. You are not the one I need. Surely there will be someone else. What if we as the player is actually Coda himself, and he's making these games to simulate what's going on in his head, like all the different ideas and approaches that's going on, and like all these people, and whenever he gets off track with how he perceives himself throughout the game, then maybe the game itself will comprehend, will make it so that way you don't progress. You know, maybe he has to be at the right, he has to answer correctly so they know it's truly him and not one of us to complete the game, because this is this game. I like the furnace. That's a nice furnace. Well, okay. Yes. I don't know how to solve it. No, we actually find the black space between the doors to be far more interesting. Have you seen it? Why do I care about the space between the doors? Actually, now that you mention it, I remember feeling strange in this room. No one calls space between the doors. I'm gonna go with 1, just because, personally, I didn't feel anything strange at the time. You know, everything's abstract, so... And I don't like the way this number 1's worded. But, yeah, I'm gonna have to go with number 1, just because, why should I care about that? I didn't know it was an important thing. I just thought it just wasn't lit up. There's a reason, but it may take time before you understand. See? That's what I'm talking about. Let's see it again soon. upstairs. I passed. It was a test.
And so we make one last descent down to the final floor of the level.
See, like how this isn't lit up, it's just dark. Unless it's the blank space. Oh, wow.
It's a lamppost. Okay, I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason, Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out. I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, you know, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to something. He wants a destination, which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination. We're going to see it in the work as well. His games are just going to become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them. And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
As you walk around, you can leave notes. All notes you see are left by other players. How do I read the note? Oh, nice room, not. How do I make text? No, I can't. I can't leave my own. I would love to leave a note.
So first off, I'm sure you can deduce this, but this game is not connected to the internet. All of the notes that you're going to see have been written by Coda. This was actually the first game of his that I ever played. This was shortly after I met him at a weekend game jam in Sacramento, where I grew up. I saw him working on this very level, and it was just so different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like, I have to be friends with this person. In retrospect, I think I was probably a bit too pushy, trying to get his attention. I was over-enthusiastic. But he was very gracious about it and very patient with me. And I cooled off eventually.
Whoa, holy shit. That's literally what I said. Well, I mean, I was like, whoa. Oh my god, there's so many. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, I can hear you, man. Hello? Hey man, I can hear you.
Oh, feel free to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you. Nothing extra is going to happen if you read all of them.
The guy over there.
Either way, to me they convey a sense of loneliness. Yeah. I see this person who's filled with thoughts and feelings and beliefs and has no way to express them except as scattered and unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played.
Fine. I'm king of the world.
But it's ironic, isn't it? That in playing this game and seeing how alone Coda often felt, that we get to know him better and actually kind of connect with him. And I have to be honest with you, this idea is really seductive to me. That I could just play someone's game and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and have to do less of the messy in-person socializing. I could just get to know you through your work. I think this is why I always liked Coda.
I'm about to read this one out loud to you guys. There's a lot going on.
It felt like they let me have that connection. I felt as though he was inviting me personally into his world. And then I feel less lonely too.
Alright, I just saw a flying penguin. Let me tell you, it was the most majestic thing I've ever seen. I don't feel like living because nothing will ever be as majestic as that. I never want to see again if nothing will ever be that beautiful again. I'm crying now and I plan on ripping my eyes out. I must go now to do that. That got really dark. I was not expecting that. Do not be afraid. Do you care? This game is so nice, I would like it when I could. Do you feel like a hero yet? Oh, cool cabin. We're running out of space. Soon we will suffocate. There are too many messages in this area. Why? Hey, I can type here. I'd rather be doing literally anything other than playing this. No, that's not that. Got one. In a world full of notes, one man will read all of them. This summer, you will believe blue speech bubbles can talk. That's great. Will I be that man? What the shit is this cavern? Boring. No, it's really interesting. It's not boring. I can assure you, guarantee that there's an acorn somewhere here in this place and the sailors are looking for it. I see if I would drop down there, I can read all those. Hey guys, you just look for someone to talk with? I'm not gonna read them all. There's a lot, I refuse to believe. Butt-ass butt. I need to go to the freaking bathroom. Recognize me, please. It's really sad though. There's something here. Go back. Don't listen to that guy. Okay. A free t-shirt. Need other side door. Why you so? Door how open? Open sesame. Makes game includes door. Cannot open door. Thanks. Someday I want to meet the person who made this. I help people because of the sort of good feeling I get. It's just so many. It's already resulting in misery. This is actually kind of sad. No. They did it. I need to read those. I have to read those too. I need to see what they say. Did they jump? Oh, it won't let me. Whew. Sorry, it's 3 in the morning. It took me a while to set this up. I think this is not going anywhere. Alright, so we talk to you. Wow. This is a note. Not wrong. Don't listen to the other notes. We typed all of this. Like, what's this one doing all the way over here? I think it's about how things look messy from up close and perfect from far away. Yeah, I mean, but it still looks really nice. See, alright, this goes on to what I was talking about with the English teachers. You know, it's like, you know, a lot of times it honestly just doesn't mean anything. But we're taught to like read between the lines. We're taught to really go in and, you know, don't get me wrong, I failed English, alright? I'm good at math, but it's like, you know, we're taught at a young age to just always read between the lines and nothing is as it seems. But sometimes, you know, it's exactly as it seems. Like, these are all of his thoughts, and he just. But then again, I could be completely wrong. He could just be fucking with us. But, you know, it's all about how the viewer interprets things, and I guess that's really what they were trying to teach us: is it's okay to interpret things that don't just. Everything's just not black and white. You know, it's always. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. This game is insane. it's like, I don't even know how to describe this feeling I'm getting right now. I gotta push on, you know? And, you know, no one's wrong either. It's like, how you interpret things is how you interpret things. There's no right or wrong way. It's just, you know, it's all about the journey. I really wish I could type something up. That would be amazing. I would type something really sweet at the end, at the very end, just so, you know, people who do make it, they read it and they're like, and it kind of lifts them back up again, because it's really sad. There doesn't have to be a reason. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, sometimes it's okay to not have a reason for it, you know? And if you don't understand, that's okay. Then just don't understand, you know? Wow. It's really powerful. These are all games that were in his trash folder, too.
At the end of this level, we're going to see the puzzle again. And here, I'll tell you what I think the puzzle means. Each of these games represents an idea that was on Coda's mind at the time that he was making it. And the puzzle is a way of closing the door on a previous chapter of his life before moving on to the next one.
I don't know what's number one. Just gotta listen.
In each of his games, after exploring a theme that, you know, he might find difficult, Coda can then place this puzzle that he knows has a reliable solution, he understands exactly how it works, and so it gives him a simple mechanism for moving on. And because there's this dark area between the doors, a space between spaces, before you move on, you get to pause. Just for a moment, a few seconds to reflect on and let go of the events that led you here. To step back and connect the pieces together. To grasp at that elusive bigger picture.
Someone made it. Someone made it through. And the voices are getting louder. And so, they're typing out here. They're typing the notes. They're... Oh. Look at them. In the lamppost. Hey there, please say something to be anything. I just need you to say something. Talk to me, please. Why are you having so much difficult time? Speak. Okay, I'll speak.